Welcome to Cross My Heart Ministry. I'm Laura McFarland. It's Monday, so of course it's time for our Martha Monday. And this week I'm back in the kitchen, really excited about sharing a new recipe with you. Now, you've heard me say many times that our name may be Scottish, but my man has an Italian stomach. He loves spaghetti, he loves lasagna, chicken parm. I don't think he's ever met an Italian dish that he doesn't love. So I'm pretty excited about a new Italian dish to present to my husband with tomorrow's Sunday lunch. Now, I'm recording on Sunday, kind of a slip of the tongue there, because I have to record ahead of time so you can watch this on Monday. The recipe I'm going to share with you was served to me by my friend Laura, yes, another Laura, a few weeks ago, and it was absolutely delicious. The thing that is so interesting about this is that it uses some citrus, and it added such an interesting flavor to the sauce. I'm calling this citrus rigatoni with meatballs. Now, I've adapted it from the recipe she sent along to me. The original recipe was published in a Southern Living magazine a few years ago. I'll mention that attribution in the free recipe that you can download, and yes, that link will be in the comments below the video, so you can find it there and download your very own copy. But I've tailored it and kind of messed around with it just a little bit, as I often do, and I'm calling it citrus rigatoni with meatballs. Again, the citrus and a little bit of fennel seed just give this a yummy, delicious flavor. So let me just run through the recipe quickly, go through the ingredients, and then I'm going to stop the camera, get everything ready, and then let you watch me assemble afterwards. So first of all, I'm starting with some rigatoni, of course, given the title. There's 16 ounces here, and I'm just going to cook that according to the package instructions. I've diced up a small onion. I'm going to saute that with a little olive oil, and then I'm going to add 3 cloves of fresh garlic and saute that as well. When that is all ready, I'm going to go ahead and stir in the marinara sauce and then all the rest of the ingredients. It's really pretty simple. I think it's going to go together pretty quickly, even though it's my first time to make it. I'm going to use a teaspoon of fennel, a package of Italian meatballs. My package has 32 ounces. Yes, 32 ounces. These are already prepared in the frozen food section. I've let them thaw. Makes it super easy. Normally with an Italian recipe, you're needing to cook your chicken or brown your ground beef. So this really makes it pretty easy since the meat is kind of done ahead for us. It calls for some orange juice and some orange zest, so I'm just going to squeeze some juice out of fresh oranges, and then it also calls for some diced pepper. I'm going to use a red pepper and a little bit of yellow just because I like to have the different colors there. Calls for a little bit of chicken broth and then some salt to taste. And at the very end, we're going to stir in some fresh basil. Now, I scalped my basil plant that I just stuck in a pot for the summer, and in a few weeks, it will just be, if past history is any indication, it will just be overflowing with basil. And I'll be chopping up basil. I'll be making pesto. I'll be putting it in my scrambled eggs and in my salad. I love having fresh basil, but it's a little bitty plant. I just got started. The recipe really needs about a cup of chopped basil, and I'm going to make do with what I have. We're just going to mix all that together, put it in a 9x13 that has been sprayed, and then at the end, I'll layer on some sliced mozzarella on top. I think it's going to be pretty easy, and I know that it is delicious because it's been served up to me. So don't go away. I'm going to pause the video, get everything ready, and then let you watch me assemble it. Be right back. Okay, well, I'm back for part 2 of our citrus rigatoni and with meatballs. I've got my pasta cooked and I'm letting it sit here and be ready. I went ahead and sauteed in olive oil the onion and the garlic, and now I'm going to assemble a few more things. It has to simmer for just about 10 minutes. So we're going to drop in, first of all, the marinara sauce, and I don't think it really matters what kind you use. I chose this tomato basil sauce from Aldi. It's their more premium brand, really yummy. But so I'm going to pour this in here, but if you have some other brand of sauce, spaghetti sauce, you just use whatever marinara sauce works for you. So I've got my nice little Pampered Chef long skinny spatula that makes it easy to get every little drop out of there. So here we go. We'll put in the spaghetti sauce. I'm splashing it on myself. That's lovely, but that's okay. It's why I'm wearing a black shirt to make this instead of a white shirt today as I cook. So get all the marinara in, and then we're just gonna dump in the next few ingredients. So I've got some fennel, which I bought for this recipe, so it's not been opened yet. I'm gonna grab just a teaspoon of this. I adapted this from the original recipe, which called for a fresh fennel bulb, and that just seemed like more than I wanted to take on. I'm gonna drop in the meatballs. They have thawed, so I'm just gonna drop them in, and again, how lovely to do that and not have to brown ground beef or anything else. And then a cup of orange juice. How interesting. I think I see some pulp here that I'm going to grab a hold of before I pull that in. I did do fresh squeezed orange juice because I had oranges in my fridge that I wanted to use up. Calls for 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth. So let me get this opened up here and get that measured out. 3/4 of a cup. This is so yummy and really so very easy. I'm using the same container that I had the orange in, and I saw a little piece of pulp. So there's that. And then next on my list is a teaspoon of orange zest. So I zested that orange before I squeezed it. So there's that. And then I'm going to dump in the chopped up bell pepper. So it called for red, and I just wanted to put some yellow in there. If I do it again, I may do red, green, and yellow. When I make my own spaghetti sauce, I like to use all 3 colored peppers. I just think it looks pretty in there. So I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to get this going on the stove for 10 minutes and let it just simmer for a little bit, and then I'll be right back to put this together and let you see how easy it is to assemble. Don't go away. Well, I'm back now for the final segment and ready to assemble our citrus rigatoni with meatballs. The sauce has simmered for 10 minutes and it smells absolutely divine. I don't know if on the video you can see the steam coming off, but it just smells absolutely delicious. The only thing left to do now, I have my 9x11 already sprayed and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and mix in my fresh basil. Now I tore this. If you've never grown basil, it is so easy. It just grows so well. You want to put it in a pot, and when you tear that basil, it just smells delectable. It makes every dish you put it in just so pungent and so fragrant and so very delicious. And there's just something about putting fresh basil in a recipe that just makes it seem so much more gourmet than just using the dried stuff. So I'm going to mix that basil in. Wish I had a little bit more, but if I make this recipe again later in the summer, I will have more. And then my rigatoni is all ready to go, and because I had to take it out of the pot, it's gotten a little cold and it's sort of sticking together, but it will be just fine once it gets mixed in with the little sauce and the meatballs. So I hope my pot is going to be large enough. I'm spilling rigatoni on the floor, but that's okay. Only one was lost. So I'm gonna get all this mixed together, and then I'll pour it into my 8.5x11, hoping I don't spill it all over myself since it is so very hot. And then the only thing left to do after that will be to spread the slices of mozzarella on top. So here we go. I think we're just about ready. Let me get my handy dandy little pot holders because my pots are very hot. Hopefully you can see what this looks like. I'm gonna pour this in. I'm hoping this pan is going to hold it. I think I may need to get perhaps a larger pan. This just is looking really delicious. I'm going to let you see what it looks like here, the pasta rigatoni bake. I am going to pull out a bigger dish, but I have a wonderfully deep, much larger pan. So again, folks, because I'm doing this on the fly, gonna grab my cooking spray, and we just adjust as we go along. It just looks a little like too much there for me to feel comfortable having that not spill over, so I'm just going to dump it right out from one to the other. There we go. This is what happens when I make it the first time on camera. We just have to sort of be willing to be flexible like everything else in life. You just adjust as you go along. Okay, we're gonna put all that in here. The recipe does call for setting this in a 4-lined cookie sheet when you bake it. I guess they're expecting that it may bubble over a little bit, and maybe that's what it would do if you only had a 9x13 pan. I'm going to adjust my recipe before I upload it and recommend that you use a larger pan or spread it out between 2 pans as well. So here we go. It smells so good and it looks absolutely divine, and all my little pieces of basil just add a little pop of color in there with all this. Oh, I think this is just going to be absolutely delicious tomorrow for my guests after church. Then the last thing is to layer on the slices of cheese. So I'm just going to pick that up, put these on like so. And then tomorrow, all I need to do is bake this at 350 for 25 minutes, it says, or until it is bubbly. So that should be perfect. Now, when these don't come out right, I just break them in half and make it work. There is my citrus rigatoni with meatballs. I hope you'll try it. I hope mine tastes as good as my friend Laura's, and I hope that my guests enjoy delicious food and fun fellowship. You know, when I used to have guests over, and I'm having about 10 people for lunch tomorrow, I used to always insist on doing it all myself. And as I've gotten older and wiser, when a friend offers to bring something, I say, yes, please. I love that. It's perfectly fine for me to let someone else bring something along, and I'm not quite so stressed the day before trying to get everything ready. So I have a friend bringing a salad, and someone bringing bread, and someone bringing dessert, and it's just going to be a lovely time. And I hope they enjoy my pasta as much as I think they will, and as much as I hope I will. Well, before I leave you, I wanted to mention it's not too late to download your copy of the Write the Word bookmark for June. Our word this month is hope. And I gotta tell you, ladies, I have loved these verses. I always work through a month ahead so I can be ready to do the Sunday Soaking blog and the Friday devotional. And I have just so appreciated, the Holy Spirit has just ministered to my heart. I just feel like every single verse has just nurtured and fed my soul. And I hope that it will be the same for you. So if you haven't yet downloaded a copy of this, go ahead and do it and start reading and writing the Word with us. If this is your first time to visit Cross My Heart, we'll add the link below so you can see where this bookmark is introduced and understand a little bit about what I'm talking about. But thanks so much for spending this Martha Monday time with me, and do stop back on Friday when I'll have a devotional from one of our verses on the Write the Word bookmark. For Cross My Heart Ministry, I'm Laura McFarland. Thanks for spending this time with me, and bon appetit.